Hey, Mrs. Edwards here. I'm going to start this tutorial with a game. This is a game that we're going to be playing at the end of the year when we test them. So you're going to get out some small objects and ask them how many there are. So right now there's pennies. So how many pennies are there? Hopefully they'll know there's 3. And then you say, okay, close your eyes. I'm going to take a couple of them away. Okay. And then have them open their eyes and say, how many am I hiding in my hand? Well, there's a couple of ways to figure that out. Obviously, we don't want them to guess. We want them to figure it out. There were 3. Put up 3 fingers. There's only 1 here. So let's put down the one that we can see. How many are there in my hand? Well, there's got to be 2. And then show them, see if they're right. Another way is to just do a subtraction problem. 3 minus 1 equals 2. So this is just trying to help them to see splitting numbers. If you have 3 and you split the 3 into 1 because you can see the 1, then there's got to be 2 hiding. We're going to go all the way up to 7 in our little test. So if you show them, okay, how many are there? There's 7. Close your eyes. Okay, now open them. How many am I hiding in my hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just tapped this fist 1 time, so it's 7. Okay, we'll do it one more time. So close your eyes. Okay, now open them. Okay, I had 7. I still have 7, just some are hiding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I tapped my fist 3 times. There's got to be 3 in this hand, and there are 3. You can also play this game using a cup and let the cup hide it when they're not looking. Alright, so let's look at what we have for math homework. This week, we're talking about categories. This says, look at the set of shapes. Which shape belongs in the same category? So these shapes, if you look at them closely, they're a light gray color. This shape has dots in it. This is clear, this is light gray, and this has lines in it. So there's the right answer. It belongs in the same category because it's the same color. And this, it says, which shape does not stack? So all of these shapes stack, because this you can set up on end and then it will stack, except the sphere. Count how many. Mark under the answer. Here is a good one. This has a discussion. So how are these shapes the same? Well, it's got to be size. They're all the same. They're all shapes, but there's one that's different. They're all shapes. This one's big. So this doesn't belong because that's what it says. Which shape does not belong? And this is talking about how many flat surfaces. So this cylinder has 1 flat surface down here and 1 up here. So that's 2. Here you're going to figure out the subtraction problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altogether. That's our altogether number at the very beginning. And then there's 3 of them grayed out. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. On this side, this is a little different. This is a graph. So we're going to be doing some things with graphs. This is the label for the graph, and so is this. So we don't count these 2 because they're just labeling the graphs. How many reds are there? Well, there's 1, 2. There's 2 reds. And here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellows. So there's 2 reds and 5 yellows. And then down here, we're talking about triangle and square. How many triangles? 1, 2, 3 triangles and 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. What does that equal altogether? Here's another graph. This has, remember, we're not counting these ones. These are just the labels. 4 reds, 3 yellows. And then I asked how many more. How many are the one that's got more? Circle the category that has more. So we can tell that really easily in a graph, and that's something we're going to talk about because this one's a longer. You can easily see it has more because it's longer. So circle the red. Here it asks which one has more again, and you can see that when you line them up like that. You can see the dark gray has more right there. And this, you figure it the same way you did with the others that we've done. Count them all together. The altogether number is at the very beginning in these addition problems. And then count how many grays and how many whites. This is saying which picture is the gray cubed train shorter than the white cube train. So there's the only one where the gray cube are shorter, gray cubes are shorter than the white cubes. And this one, they're trying to use the same graph to do two different problems. So we're looking at the big shapes, we're looking at the small shapes, we're looking at the rectangles, we're looking at the triangles. But here it's asking for the big shapes. So we've got 1, 2, 3 big shapes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small shapes. All together, if you have your child count them, it's 8. Here we're looking at the rectangles. There's 3 rectangles. And then you add the triangles. And the triangles, there's 5, so that still equals 8. This side, it's talking about looking at the sorting mat. This is a sorting mat. And which number shows how many circles and triangles there are all together. So just count all of the circles and triangles and mark that number. This is saying which one is lighter. Have your child imagine they're holding a marker in one hand and these things in the other hand. See which one is lighter. That would be the paper clip. And then which of the numbers are in the right order. And then mark that. This is the last one. This is a little bit different. It's talking about drawing a line to figure out more and less. So here we're drawing a line from the snorkels to the goggles and saying, well, how many more goggles are there? Well, if you match them up and cover them up, there's 3 more goggles. And here we're drawing a line from the frisbees to the balls. If you match them up, there's more balls. So how many more balls? Well, let's cover these up because they're the same. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more balls. Flip it over and we're talking about fewer, which also means less. They matched these up, cover it up. How many more? There's 1 more. Well, and how many fewer? There's 1 fewer shovel. There should be a shovel here if it was the same. And here, how many fewer sandcastles? So we lined these up and then I went, oh, there should be 3 more in order for it to be the same. So there's 3 fewer sandcastles. Same thing here, you line them up, figure out how many fewer sunglasses are there. And that's it. Thanks for joining me this week.